Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ben with Eretabe Gardens in Georgia, Zone 7. I have a nice one for you today. Today's video is growing tomato plant with 2 vines. Growing tomato plant with 2 vines. Behind me, you can see me standing between 2 vines, but it is 1 tomato plant. And you can see the tomatoes on the 2 vines. If you want to have more harvest, if you want to have more tomatoes, you can start your tomato with 1 vine as a plant, but separate it into 2 vines, you will get more harvest. You will have double harvest from 1 tomato plant. So, let me show you guys what I have done in my garden that is going to help me to have more harvest. I'm growing this tomato on 2 vines. I started it as a single vine. If you look at the bottom here, I started it as a single vine until it got here. Then I decided to make it 2 vines. And something made me to take this decision. That container was the second plant of this same variety. I planted 2 of this variety, 1 in here and 1 in there. But the one in there along the line died when I fertilized it with slow release fertilizer. And before I covered it with a leaf mulch, flies laid maggots because of the smell of the slow release fertilizer. So flies, they do that. Like if you put blood meal in your soil, before you know it, you will see maggots, because fly will just go and lay maggots, which is their larva, that will now change, that will now become flies. So, and that was what happened. But I didn't see the maggots on time until when I saw that the plant was dying. So when I removed the mulch, I saw the maggot, and it was too late. So by then, this one here outgrew this one. So it turned out to be a blessing, because something happened. I mistakenly cut the growth, so that stopped it from growing. And then finally there was then this shoot here, a new growth here started. So I said, okay, since that one is dead, I'm going to have 2 vines. Now look at this vine here. Look at the amount of tomatoes it has. Now, if I had left it just 1 vine, this is what I will harvest. But because I have a second vine, look at. So all these tomatoes are extra. So instead of having just 1 harvest, now I'm having double harvest. Can you imagine having just 1 single vine? This will have been the harvest, but now I have double harvest. So this is one advantage of having 2 vines. It's just like having 2 separate plants, but it is one plant with 2 vines. So I'm growing one tomato plant with 2 vines. Growing one tomato plant with 2 vines. It has advantage. Double harvest. Here is another tomato plant. Look at it. I started it as a single vine until it got to this point. Then now I decided to have a second plant. And that was the reason. See, sometimes every disappointment is a blessing in disguise, and this is what we don't understand. All I wanted to do was just to have single vines. Look at them, they're all single vines, tomato. But something happened. I have a second plant of this same variety, and look at it here. Look at the entire growth. All of these tomatoes, all these tomato plants, they all did well except for this one. It stopped here, right here. You can see something like a ring here. It stopped there while all others have grown. So because it was not growing, I decided to have 2 vines. So because of that plant not doing well, of the same variety, because I wanted more, that's why I planted 2 plants. But because the second one was not doing well, from here I decided to have a second vine. Now look at the tomatoes on this second vine. Look at it. From this second vine. And look at the tomatoes on the original vine. Look at the tomatoes on the original vine. So if I had stopped, or if I had continued just with one vine, this is the tomato I would have gotten. And that one there. But because I decided to have a second vine on the same plant, this is extra. Extra, extra, extra. So growing tomato plant with 2 vines, it gives you double harvest, because this is extra that I wouldn't have gotten if I had continued just one vine. But having 2 vines is double blessing, because it's double harvest that you're having, and that's double blessing. Here is another tomato plant, but this time around, this one is a cherry tomato, black cherry tomato. I started it as one vine and then decided to have 2 vines. I had a cherry tomato plant growing in one of the containers, and it started dying, all because of flies laid maggots in some of the containers. I didn't realize that. I just thought they were just having a problem, not because of maggot. About, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 tomato plants. They were just, the leaves would just droop. I would give it water, it would come back, but droop again. I said, what is going on? Until I finally thought of, okay, let me even remove the leaf mulch. Let me check what is going on. And that was when I saw maggots. And then I went to the second container, removed the leaf mulch, maggots. So I had only one black cherry tomato plant, and it was dying. So what I did was to cut, I think, the top of the cherry tomato plant that was still okay, and then replanted it, and then I got this tomato plant. So I now decided that when it grew tall to a certain level, I will make it have 2 vines. So one vine will replace the other plant that died. So when it grew to this point, I decided to have a second vine, because this was the original vine. Now look at the tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes here, cherry tomatoes here, cherry tomatoes there. Look at cherry tomatoes. And then I decided to have a second vine. And look at the cherry tomato on this second vine. Look at the cherry tomatoes. So now I'm having more harvest of these cherry tomatoes. All because I allowed 2 vines on one plant. Double harvest. So situations can give you ideas. If it didn't happen, if the flies didn't lay maggots, their larvae, in my soil, I won't have made this decision. But I made it because the situation was not going good, and I still want to have more tomatoes. So I decided to have 2 vines on one plant. So next year, I now have a plan that next year, by God's grace, I might do, I don't know if all of my tomato plants will be 2 vines, but I know some of them I will make them 2 vines so as to have more harvest of tomatoes. So thank you for watching this video. Please like this video, share this video, let people know that growing tomato plant with 2 vines, it means more harvest, double harvest. So thank you. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscription button, and next to the subscription button is the notification bell. Click on it and click on all, so that every time I upload new videos, you will be notified. Thank you so much, and God bless you real good. Bye.